Hollywood has always loved a fairy tale, the kind where two stars meet, fall in love, and seem destined for a life together, with flashes of cameras capturing every romantic gesture. But sometimes, even the brightest fairy tales crumble behind the velvet curtains. Few people imagine that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, the glittering country pop star and the Oscar-winning actress, would one day walk separate paths after nearly 2 decades together. And yet the headlines are screaming it. One of Hollywood's most admired couples is officially splitting, and the reasons behind it are as complicated as they are fascinating. Keith Urban, 58, has always been the charismatic, guitar-wielding performer who could light up stadiums and award shows alike. Nicole Kidman, 56, has dazzled audiences with her acting prowess, moving seamlessly between blockbuster films and intimate dramas. Their marriage, long portrayed as stable and enviable, seemed unshakable. But appearances, as it turns out, can be deceiving. Sources close to the couple suggest that behind the smiles and red carpet poses, tension was quietly building. While fans celebrated their love story, the reality behind the scenes was far more complex. The first whispers of trouble started months before the public knew. Friends of the couple noticed subtle signs: a growing distance during family events, missed celebrations, and the way both seemed increasingly absorbed in their own worlds. Keith was deep in his music, touring relentlessly and taking on new projects that demanded both energy and presence. Nicole, meanwhile, immersed herself in films and philanthropic work, balancing a high-profile career with the daily responsibilities of raising 2 teenage daughters. For many, the image of their relationship remained intact, but for those who knew them best, the cracks were impossible to ignore. Then came the official confirmation. Nicole filed for divorce in September 2025, citing irreconcilable differences. The announcement stunned fans worldwide. People who had grown accustomed to seeing the pair together at premieres, awards, and charity events were left wondering, what went wrong? And more importantly, what comes next? Divorce in Hollywood often unfolds like a public spectacle, but this split carries a different weight, one of personal regret, emotional strain, and the complex interplay of fame, family, and fortune. Behind the headlines, Keith is grappling with his own reality. Friends describe him as exhausted, navigating a punishing schedule while simultaneously dealing with the emotional fallout of losing his partner and confidant. Nicole, too, is recalibrating her life, balancing her public image, career, and the well-being of their daughters. For both, the world is watching every move, every public gesture, and every subtle hint of reconciliation or conflict. This isn't just a story about a divorce. It's a glimpse into the delicate, often hidden world behind celebrity relationships. It's about love, ambition, regret, and the harsh spotlight of fame. And it raises questions that fans everywhere are asking. Could Keith and Nicole find their way back to each other? Or is this the beginning of a permanent split that neither can undo? What really happened behind closed doors? The truth is layered, full of surprises, and in some ways heartbreaking. In the next part, we'll look back at their journey together, the highs, the milestones, and the moments that made their love story seem unbreakable. But as we'll see, even the strongest bonds can face unexpected tests. To understand the shock of Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman's split, we have to go back to where it all began. Their story isn't just about 2 celebrities falling in love. It's about 2 worlds colliding and finding harmony in the unlikeliest of places. Nicole, already an acclaimed actress, had conquered Hollywood with her Oscar-winning performances and red carpet poise. Keith, the Australian-born country star, was carving out his own space in music, charming audiences with every note and every heartfelt lyric. When they met in 2005, few could have predicted the lasting impact they would have on each other's lives. Their early years together were a whirlwind of romance and admiration. Keith has often spoken about being captivated not just by Nicole's talent, but by her warmth and intellect. For Nicole, Keith was more than a performer. He was a steady presence in a life often consumed by the intensity of fame. Friends described their early connection as magnetic, with a bond that was rooted in mutual respect and a shared love for family and stability. Despite their high-profile careers, they prioritized their relationship, creating a partnership that many considered unshakable. Marriage came quickly. In 2006, the two tied the knot in a private ceremony that perfectly balanced Hollywood glamour with personal intimacy. Unlike many celebrity weddings, theirs felt authentic, a reflection of a genuine partnership rather than a media spectacle. In the years that followed, they built a life that many envied. They welcomed 2 daughters, Sunday and Faith, and managed to create a sense of normalcy despite the glare of public attention. Their home life, though occasionally interrupted by touring schedules and film shoots, was described by friends as loving and grounded. Yet beneath the picture-perfect surface, life as a celebrity couple has its challenges. Long hours apart, time zone differences, and the pressures of constant public scrutiny created an invisible strain. Keith's world was one of studio sessions, live shows, and recording schedules, while Nicole navigated film sets, award circuits, and global charity commitments. Coordinating family life amidst such demanding careers required careful planning, patience, and compromise, qualities that would serve them well for years, but also quietly test their resilience. Publicly, they remained one of Hollywood's most admired couples. They were often seen supporting each other at events, sharing candid moments in interviews, and showcasing a sense of humor and intimacy that fans loved. Social media posts, photos, and public appearances painted a picture of harmony. But for those close to them, there were signs of the tensions that can quietly build in any long-term relationship. Their story is a reminder that even the most celebrated romances face real-life challenges. For nearly 2 decades, Keith and Nicole navigated fame, family, and personal growth together. They created memories, shared milestones, and built a bond that seemed unbreakable. And yet the pressures of life, ambition, and circumstance sometimes weigh heavier than anyone can predict. In the next part, we'll explore the moment everything changed, the divorce reveal that stunned the world and set off a chain of events no fan could have imagined. From legal filings to public statements, this was the beginning of a new, complicated chapter in both their lives. The shockwaves hit in September 2025. After nearly 2 decades together, Nicole Kidman officially filed for divorce from Keith Urban, citing irreconcilable differences. For fans around the world, it felt sudden, almost surreal. How could one of Hollywood's most admired couples, who had weathered years of fame, touring, and media scrutiny, come to this point? But as with many celebrity splits, the story behind the headlines was far more layered and emotionally charged than anyone could see from the outside. The legal documents confirmed what insiders had been quietly speculating for months. Nicole and Keith were officially ending their marriage. Custody arrangements for their 2 daughters were outlined carefully. The girls would primarily live with Nicole, while Keith would have them for 59 days each year. Financial agreements were structured to reflect their long-shared careers, each retaining separate assets and royalties, with Keith also covering upfront school expenses for the girls. While the settlement avoided spousal support, it was clear that the split was both deliberate and serious, a long-considered step rather than an impulsive decision. The timing of the announcement coincided with other high-profile events in their lives, adding another layer of complexity. Keith was in the middle of a demanding tour schedule, performing night after night while navigating the emotional toll of a personal upheaval. Nicole was immersed in film projects and global philanthropy, balancing her public image with private grief. For both, the divorce was not just a legal procedure. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with emotional reckoning, logistical challenges, and intense media scrutiny. Friends close to the couple revealed that both Keith and Nicole were experiencing waves of regret and sadness. Keith, in particular, was reportedly struggling with the reality of a life without his longtime partner. Described as exhausted and isolated, he threw himself into work to manage the pain, but the emotional strain was palpable. Nicole, meanwhile, displayed quiet resilience, speaking openly in interviews about hanging in there and maintaining strength for her children. Both were aware that the world was watching every move, every gesture, and every public statement, adding pressure to an already difficult situation. The public reaction was immediate and intense. Fans took to social media to share shock, support, and speculation, while tabloids dissected every detail of the split. Was there a new relationship in the picture? Were there financial disagreements? Why now after so many years? The truth, of course, remained private, but the headlines fueled curiosity and a sense of urgency for anyone following their story. Beyond the legalities, this moment marked a turning point in their lives. The divorce was not just about ending a marriage. It was about redefining family dynamics, recalibrating public perception, and navigating the delicate balance between personal pain and professional responsibilities. For Keith and Nicole, it meant confronting the consequences of long-hidden tensions, reflecting on the past, and stepping into an uncertain future, all under the unrelenting gaze of the public eye. In the next part, we'll dive into Keith Urban's personal fallout, the loneliness, the regrets, and the way he's grappling with life after the split. From exhausting tour schedules to private struggles, this is where the human side of fame meets heartbreak. For Keith Urban, the divorce wasn't just a headline. It was a stark reality hitting him harder than anyone could have imagined. Friends describe him as exhausted and isolated, navigating a punishing tour schedule while grappling with the emotional weight of losing not just a partner, but his closest confidant. Every performance, every press event, every public appearance now carries an undercurrent of tension, as if he's performing not only for fans, but also to mask the pain simmering just beneath the surface. Since Nicole filed for divorce, Keith has thrown himself into work with an intensity bordering on desperation. He's filming the second season of The Road alongside Blake Shelton, performing his usual Vegas residency, and even accepting private gigs for high-profile audiences. Sources close to him suggest that some of these appearances, including private performances for the political elite, were never part of his original plans. He never thought he'd be playing gigs in places like that, a friend confided, but he's got to pay the bills, and the divorce settlement isn't cheap. Yet financial pressures are only part of the story. There's also the emotional toll. Keith has reportedly become more isolated, cutting himself off from casual social interactions and focusing almost entirely on work. Friends say he's replaying past conversations, rereading interviews Nicole gave, and quietly battling the urge to reach out, to apologize, to reconcile, or simply to connect. One insider revealed that a recent interview Nicole gave, admitting she's hanging in there, hit him particularly hard. It's a stark reminder that, despite the media narrative, real human emotions are at play. Even in the midst of his busy schedule, Keith's daughters, Sunday, 17, and Faith, 14, remain his anchor. The custody arrangement allows him 59 days with them each year, and those moments are described as bittersweet. The girls are reportedly resilient, understanding the situation better than most would expect. But for Keith, every goodbye is a sharp reminder of what he's lost. Friends note that spending time with his daughters is the only reprieve in a life currently dominated by touring, filming, and media scrutiny. Blake Shelton has stepped in as a quiet support system, checking in on Keith after long filming days, making sure he eats and reminding him to slow down. Keith's not doing well, a source said. He never wanted to make an enemy out of Nicole, and he's not giving up on the idea of ending things amicably. But right now, he's facing a very lonely existence. The contrast between his public persona, energetic, confident, and charming, and his private reality is stark, creating a tension that fans may never fully see. This period of Keith's life is a powerful reminder that fame cannot shield anyone from heartbreak. While the world watches him perform and celebrates his music, behind the scenes he's grappling with regret, exhaustion, and the stark realization that the life he once envisioned is no longer attainable. And yet, amid the solitude and strain, there's a fragile thread of hope. The possibility that time, reflection, and family might offer a path forward. In the next part, we'll explore Nicole Kidman's response, her resilience, emotional coping, and how she's managing life after the split while maintaining strength for her daughters and career. While Keith Urban has been grappling with isolation and exhaustion, Nicole Kidman's response to their split has been markedly different, composed, deliberate, and focused on maintaining both her personal strength and the well-being of their daughters. Publicly, Nicole has shown a quiet resilience, navigating the emotional turbulence of divorce while continuing her career at full speed. In interviews, she's admitted that she's simply hanging in there, a statement that resonated deeply with those close to the couple and indirectly with Keith himself. Nicole's approach reflects a balance between emotional honesty and strategic discretion. Unlike many celebrities who turn to public statements or social media drama, she has maintained a measured presence. She continues to attend high-profile events, charity functions, and film premieres, presenting an image of poise and professionalism. Yet behind the scenes, those closest to her report that she is experiencing the same emotional struggle that anyone would in a major life transition. Moments of sadness, reflection, and the challenge of reconciling public scrutiny with private grief. A significant part of Nicole's focus has been her daughters, Sunday and Faith. The custody arrangement allows Keith to spend a limited number of days with them, meaning Nicole is managing the majority of their day-to-day lives. Friends say she has been remarkably attentive, ensuring that the girls feel supported and secure despite the upheaval. This dedication has not gone unnoticed by Keith, who reportedly draws strength from seeing his daughters' resilience and their mother's composed presence. For Nicole, protecting her children's emotional well-being has become a central priority, and she's approached this role with both determination and subtlety. Professionally, Nicole has not slowed down. She continues to choose roles that challenge her, balancing film projects with advocacy work. By staying engaged in her career, she maintains a sense of control and identity outside the marriage. Her ability to compartmentalize, separating personal pain from professional obligations, demonstrates a level of emotional maturity that has impressed colleagues and fans alike. At the same time, this very resilience seems to be what triggers Keith's sense of regret. Seeing Nicole move forward with such composure is both inspiring and a painful reminder of what he has lost. Nicole's resilience is also reflected in her approach to public perception. While the media often speculates about tensions, rumors, or potential new relationships, she has avoided fueling such narratives. Instead, she focuses on authenticity and maintaining the dignity of her family. Friends note that she is committed to ending the marriage on as amicable terms as possible, despite the emotional and logistical challenges. Her actions suggest that she is prioritizing long-term stability and peace over momentary drama or public vindication. In this stage of the split, Nicole exemplifies a rare combination of vulnerability and strength. She acknowledges the emotional strain, supports her children, and continues to excel in her career, all while under intense public scrutiny. For Keith, witnessing this resilience adds another layer of complexity to his own journey of regret, introspection, and emotional recovery. In the next part, we'll dive into the swirling rumors, speculations, and subtle public signals from both stars, the aspects that fuel fan curiosity and keep headlines buzzing, all while revealing the hidden layers of this high-profile breakup. In the aftermath of their divorce announcement, the world couldn't help but speculate. With Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman being such high-profile figures, every public gesture, every social media post, and every lyric in a song has become fuel for rumors. Fans and tabloids alike have been analyzing every detail, trying to decipher the hidden emotions behind what they see. And while the truth is often more private than the headlines suggest, the intrigue itself keeps the story alive. Keith's recent performances have drawn particular attention. Some observers noted subtle changes in his lyrics, seemingly referencing past experiences with Nicole. While fans speculate whether these changes are intentional messages or artistic coincidences, insiders suggest they reflect the emotional complexity he's experiencing. Keith appears to be navigating a delicate balance, performing for his audience while privately processing the breakup. Every song, every note becomes a window into his inner world, sparking discussion and curiosity across fan communities. Public appearances have also fueled speculation. Keith has been seen at private events and high-profile parties, often surrounded by younger collaborators. This has led to rumors of new relationships, though nothing has been confirmed. "There's been a lot of buzz," a source explained, but it's important to remember that these are unverified claims. Keith is a private man, and much of what people think they see is simply speculation. Nonetheless, the combination of professional activity and personal vulnerability creates a perfect storm for media intrigue. Nicole, on the other hand, has largely maintained a composed public presence, but her actions haven't gone unnoticed either. Interviews where she discusses hanging in there have been dissected for hidden meaning. Every red carpet appearance, every candid photo with her daughters, has been interpreted as a statement, subtle yet impactful, about her emotional state. Fans debate whether her calm demeanor signals strength, resignation, or perhaps a hidden plan for moving forward without public drama. Even their interactions, or lack thereof, are scrutinized. When Keith performs on stage, the occasional nod to family life sparks speculation. Is it longing, regret, or simply artistic expression? Similarly, Nicole's selective appearances with her daughters invite theories about her intentions and emotional stance. In the world of celebrity scrutiny, even the smallest gestures are amplified, and both stars are aware that the public is watching closely. The constant media attention has its consequences. While the rumors add intrigue, they also amplify the emotional pressure on both Keith and Nicole. Friends say Keith sometimes struggles with the intense focus on his personal life, wishing for moments of privacy to simply reflect and heal. Nicole, meanwhile, appears to navigate the same scrutiny with measured composure, reinforcing her resilience while carefully shielding her daughters from the spotlight. This phase of their story highlights the complex intersection of fame, emotion, and speculation. The public craves insight, yet the true depth of their experiences remains private. Each rumor, each analysis, serves as both entertainment and a reminder that celebrity life carries unique challenges, even in the context of personal heartbreak. In the next part, we'll explore the impact of this split on their careers and public image, how Keith's touring and private gigs, alongside Nicole's continued acting projects, shape perceptions of both stars in the wake of a highly publicized divorce. Divorce in Hollywood is never just a private matter. It has ripple effects that touch careers, public perception, and fan engagement. For Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, the split has subtly, yet significantly, impacted how the world sees them. Both stars are navigating a delicate balance, maintaining their professional momentum while managing the scrutiny that comes with being a high-profile couple breaking apart. Keith's career has entered a new, complex phase. His tour continues, but there's an emotional weight that underlies every performance. Friends note that Keith's energy on stage is impressive, yet tinged with a personal vulnerability that fans may not fully see. Private gigs for influential figures, some of which are unconventional choices for a country music superstar, suggest he's experimenting with new avenues to sustain both income and relevance. Sources indicate that some of these appearances were not initially part of his career plan, but financial responsibilities and media pressure have made them necessary. Each show, each appearance, has become an arena where Keith's personal and professional lives intersect in subtle yet impactful ways. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman's professional image has remained steady, arguably strengthened by her poised response to the divorce. By continuing to take on challenging acting roles and maintaining a controlled public presence, she has reinforced her reputation as a resilient, self-sufficient figure in Hollywood. Interviews, charity work, and selective appearances demonstrate her focus on long-term career goals rather than immediate media spectacle. Fans and colleagues alike admire her composure, viewing her as a model of grace under pressure. The media narrative also plays a pivotal role. While tabloids often speculate about possible romantic rebounds, family drama, or subtle public gestures, both stars have managed to avoid fueling unnecessary conflict. Keith's occasional lyric changes or nods to personal experiences are seen as part of his artistic expression, while Nicole's careful appearances suggest a strategy of maintaining dignity and stability. These actions influence public perception. Keith is viewed as emotionally raw but dedicated to his work, and Nicole as composed, independent, and focused on her family and career. Social media further amplifies the narrative. Fans dissect every tweet, photo, or performance snippet, creating a constant feedback loop that keeps both stars in the public eye. For Keith, this means navigating fan curiosity and potential criticism while protecting his private life. For Nicole, it reinforces the importance of strategic visibility, showing strength and stability without becoming a source of scandal. Ultimately, the divorce has shaped both stars' careers in nuanced ways. Keith's path now blends personal reflection with professional reinvention, while Nicole continues to build her legacy on resilience and artistic excellence. The split has not halted their success, but has added layers of complexity to their public personas, reminding everyone that even celebrated figures must reconcile personal upheaval with professional expectations. In the next part, we'll wrap up this story with a conclusion, reflecting on their legacy, unresolved questions, and the uncertain yet compelling future that awaits both Keith and Nicole. After nearly 2 decades together, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman now walk separate paths, leaving fans and the public to grapple with the reality of a relationship that once seemed unshakable. Their story is not just about a high-profile divorce. It's about love, ambition, family, and the pressures of fame. A reminder that even the most admired couples are not immune to life's unpredictable twists. Keith Urban faces a period of introspection, balancing the demands of his career with the personal weight of regret and isolation. Every tour date, every private gig, and every public appearance is colored by the emotional landscape of a man confronting the loss of his longtime partner. While friends and colleagues note his resilience, it's clear that this chapter of his life is both challenging and transformative. The private moments he shares with his daughters, Sunday and Faith, offer solace and a sense of purpose, yet also underscore what he's lost. Nicole Kidman, meanwhile, continues to exemplify grace under pressure. Her composed public presence, ongoing acting projects, and dedication to her children reflect a woman who has found strength in the face of adversity. Nicole's approach highlights the balance between personal vulnerability and professional control, demonstrating how resilience can redefine a public figure's image while protecting what truly matters: family, self-respect, and stability. The split has also left fans speculating about what comes next. Rumors swirl, lyrics are dissected, and gestures are interpreted, each hint fueling curiosity, intrigue, and endless discussion. Will Keith find solace and perhaps a new chapter in love? Will Nicole continue to flourish, both as a mother and as an actress? Or is this a period of quiet rebuilding, where both focus on personal growth before the world sees the next move? These questions linger, keeping audiences invested in a story that is far from over. This is a story of contrasts. Keith's vulnerability versus Nicole's composure, public speculation versus private pain, and the balance between professional obligations and personal healing. It's a narrative that reminds us how fame amplifies every emotion, every decision, and every moment of reflection. Fans witness not just the performances and appearances, but also the human reality behind them, a world where even the brightest love stories face their trials. In the end, the legacy of Keith and Nicole is not defined solely by the split, but by the decades they shared, the family they built, and the example they set in navigating fame with authenticity. Their journey continues, shaped by past memories, present challenges, and the endless possibilities of the future. And while the public may never know every detail behind closed doors, the story itself remains compelling, a reminder that life's most dramatic chapters often unfold quietly, even in the brightest spotlight. For fans, the question is unavoidable. Is this the end of a legendary Hollywood romance, or just the beginning of a new chapter, one that will continue to captivate, surprise, and inspire? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The world is watching, and every move they make from here on out will carry the weight of a story millions have followed and won't soon forget.